Two old warriors met in the swamp today. Only one's coming out alive. Every year about this time, the question comes up all over the place. How high do you hunt? And that should be a pretty rookie question. Somebody asking that should be pretty new to hunting. But it never ceases to amaze me. The so-called pros that give an obviously wrong answer. And what I mean by that is they say, oh, I always hunt 30 feet, or I always hunt, 10 to 15 feet. There is no one size fits all. I mean, I can understand somebody has a fear of heights, so they don't hunt high. What I can't understand is you've got cover at 15 feet and you hunt 30 feet where you got no cover. Or you got cover at 30 feet and nothing at 15 feet and you hunt 15 feet. So there is no straightforward answer to that. You hunt where the cover, the wind, the thermals dictate. You go in, you look at the spot, and you say, okay, where's the deer going to come from? He's going to come from over here. What's the wind doing? It's going in my face. That's good. But what are the thermals going to do about the timing that the deer gets here? Well, they're going to drop over here. Well, then I can't sit on that side. I got to sit on this side. I could hunt that tree or that tree, and those are my two options. That tree is going to eliminate a shot to that spot. That tree right there, I can hit everything. Okay, at what height can I hunt out of? Okay, that's my tree, that's my height. It's not a one size fits all. You hunt out of different trees at different heights, at different diameters, all the time. I often end up hunting really low, even though I like hunting a little higher. Because when you hunt edge, which is where mature bucks live, generally you end up with small scrubby trees to hunt up. In a perfect world, which it's not, I would be about 18 to 20 feet high, just out of their sight where they'd have to look up to see you. And I would have about an 18 to 20 yard shot, where it's not so steep that you're getting one lung and wounded them. It's not to say I won't hunt higher than that. Every scenario dictates what you do. But 18 to 20 is about the right height for shooting out to around 18 yards, which is about a perfect shot. You start getting deer into within 10 yards, and that's fine and dandy with does and yearlings, but mature bucks have a tendency to notice you, to sense you, to know you're there when they get within 10 yards. I like to shoot them before they get into that window of detection.
I'm setting up where I have openings. I'm looking for a tree. I'm going in real slow, picking my tree, picking my spot from a distance. I don't want to walk past something and walk back to it. I'm looking for little openings. I'm looking for little openings where I can hit the trail.
All right. So right here, you got a bunch of fingers that drop in with bedding points on them. It looks like they could be bedded on this one or the next one. But this is a really thick area, high stem count, and there's just a natural opening right here for whatever reason. Doesn't look like anybody cleared it. I don't know why it's open right here, but I'm thinking if we go any further, we might have to run the risk if it just stays thick like that. And this has a natural shooting lane. There's a nice runway through here, and there's some rubs over here. You can kind of see them going off that way. We got the scrape line back there. I think we might have some action. We're going to just try this. And hopefully if we don't kill one, we at least get some eyeballs on one or hear something.
And that's important because, ideally we all go in and scout in winter like we're out here now and find these spots and trim them. But that's usually not the case. I mean, you go in, you get mobile, you see something going on, you move, you shift, you go hunt a point or whatever. The wind's blowing a different direction one day, so you're going to be in a slightly different tree.
Well, there's my tree. Bucks better underneath that tree. They run better underneath those trees. Over there. I'm going to water over my boots.
Lots of sign coming in here. Fresh tracks from this morning, but no rubs, but a lot of deer. Guess we'll climb up there and see what happens. Get right up there. Oh. So you have to learn how to set up a stand and shoot around obstacles and put that stand at the exact height where you got a little hole. Watch when you're climbing the tree. Where can I shoot from? You put in your stand where you can shoot from. You can see how the tree's far from perfect. This is the only tree out here. This is the one I have to hunt out if I want to kill something. So getting a stand in there, getting sticks in there, I have to be able to get into a tree that's far from perfect. And I have to do so quietly, which I did. I didn't hear one deer crash off, and I'm right on top of bedding. And there is fresh sign back here, so I'm sure we'll see something.
That's a great point, because stand height in these swamps can vary. Obviously, being higher up is going to give you some different advantages, but a lot of times you might only have a smaller tree to get up in, and the cover around you might be better maybe 10 feet off the ground than it is 20 feet off the ground. Some of these areas are so tight in the transitions that I've seen that yeah, if you're 10 or 15 feet off the ground, that's where your one shooting lane is. You know, I know the area, you know, where 2 years ago where I got my buck, I only had 2 small shooting lanes for that. That buck was either going to come and walk into that shooting lane or he wasn't. But that was kind of the risk reward that you take when you go into those areas.
Yeah, I laugh all the time when you see that stuff online, like the little polls, how high do you hunt, and the guy's like, I always hunt 30 feet, or I always hunt 22 feet, or I always, you know, well, then they're not hunting properly. Either that or always presetting stands, because you got to put that stand where you have shooting lanes. You have to put it at a certain height that you're not seen from the bed. It varies. Every setup varies. You put the stand where it belongs in the tree where you set the stand, basically. And a lot of guys just don't seem to get that. I mean, they're looking to get really high or something. And a lot of times in these swamps, especially like dogwood and stuff, you get high enough and they can see you from the bed. They're going to see the movement through the dogwood and stuff. You're laying there looking up. Another thing people don't seem to get is we're literally shooting these deer 50 or 75 yards from their bed. And we can't be further away or they're not getting that far in daylight.
Right.
So you do have to be super quiet. You have to be worrying about how high you get, but you have to be worrying about how low you get. You have to be putting a stand in the right position, basically. And swamps are tough because you ain't coming in here using a climber. We're hunting out of tamarack trees. We're hunting out of bushes. We're hunting out of nasty, gnarly trees. It's all edge. You could walk around here all day and not find a tree to put a climber in. Or you're going to be on some ridge where you're nowhere near the swamp where they're bedding.
Right, and that's a good point, because I have a hand climber as well as sticks in a stand, and there are many areas in here that I could find to use a climber, but they're in the center of the island. And again, talking about proximity and being close to that bedding area, if I set up in the center of the island, typically that mature buck, he's going to get up just before legal shooting light is done. He may only be on his feet, 30 minutes, and it might take him 45 minutes to get to me, or an hour. So if I'm in the center of the island, it's not likely that buck's going to get to me. So I've had to change. I mean, I've transitioned over to using stands and a stick a lot, just to get closer to the edge of that transition and set up on those spots where I know I'm within 75, 100 yards of that bedding area to give me a better chance of seeing that buck.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tune in again. Hit the subscribe. Hit the like. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. See ya.